CNN Today with Lou Waters and Natalie Allen. Weekdays on CNN.
Hello, I'm Gene Randall in Washington. In a moment, your health. But first, some headlines. Canadian authorities are exploring possible terrorist links to the Algerian charged with bringing bomb-making materials into the United States. The Canadians are probing suspect Ahmed Rassam's background for ties with the armed Islamic group. So far, U.S. officials say they do not have information of a direct plot against Americans.
We are not aware at this point of other specific threats against particular targets in the United States. But the State Department has said last week that this period between now and the New Year's, actually between now and the end of Ramadan and early January, is a period of heightened risk of terrorist action, including against Americans.
Rassam was ordered held without bail on Friday after U.S. Customs officials say they found bomb-making materials in his car. U.S. officials tell CNN they're looking for any connection between Rassam and Osama bin Laden, the accused mastermind of last year's U.S. embassy bombings in Africa. Pro-government parties in Russia appear to have increased their representation in today's parliamentary elections. About 57% of the country's 107 million voters cast ballots for seats in the Duma, the lower house. Exit polls predict the communists will remain the largest party, but that their margin will slip dramatically. The election is seen as a dress rehearsal for next summer's presidential vote in Russia. NASA is hoping once again to launch the Discovery shuttle into orbit. It is set for liftoff tonight from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. 9 earlier dates at the launch pad were bypassed last night because of bad weather. Discovery's mission is to repair the Hubble Space Telescope. Liftoff is scheduled for 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time, and CNN plans live coverage. I'm Gene Randall. More news at the top of the hour. Now, your health.
Today on Your Health, mental illness. It affects millions of Americans. Now find out why a new report from the Surgeon General says it's the second leading cause of premature death in the U.S. And attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Experts say it affects 3 to 5% of U.S. school-age children. But now a new study has some parents wondering if Ritalin is the most effective treatment option. Plus, whether you're celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or New Year's, the holidays will include lots of food. Besides gaining weight, overindulgence can be emotionally challenging for the millions of Americans with eating disorders. Welcome to Your Health. I'm Dr. Steve Salvatore. This week, the nation's top doctor issued a scathing report about the state of our mental health. In it, the Surgeon General warns that millions of Americans are suffering from some form of mental illness and are not getting the treatment they need because of shame, fear, and the lack of money. And he warns it's costing us precious lives. CNN's Jonathan Aiken has more.
Using a broad definition covering disorders ranging from depression to Alzheimer's disease, the Surgeon General's report says mental illness is the second leading cause of premature death in the United States.
Mental health is indispensable to personal well-being and to leading a balanced and productive life.
The survey shows 1 out of every 5 Americans, some 44 million people, suffer from some form of mental illness. 2/3 of that number never seek treatment, including half of those considered severely mentally ill. Satcher's report says the medical community must treat the mind and the body as one.
There's no longer any scientific justification for distinguishing between mental illness and other forms of illness in terms of physical and chemical manifestation. Mental illnesses are physical illnesses.
The report concludes embarrassment and public shame are why millions don't seek the care they need.
It's a crisis compounded by myths and obsolete assumptions, by Charles Dickens-like images of straitjackets and asylums that persist in this society even to this day.
Yes, I'd like to know, is Dr. Nelson available?
Maureen Veach says shame was one reason she waited until she was an adult to deal with bouts of depression that started in adolescence.
We don't shame or shun other people who have medical illnesses. We used to do that years ago with people who had AIDS, and we don't do that anymore.
In addition to shame, the report says many Americans avoid dealing with mental health problems because of the cost in treating them. Insurance coverage for mental illness is less than for physical ailments. And while more than half the states require some form of parity, there's no federal law requiring insurers to treat mental and physical health problems equally. This study is a scientific report, not a political one, and the Surgeon General says it is only the first in a series. Future reports will deal with mental health issues involving race, culture, gender, and age. Jonathan Aiken for CNN, Washington.
The Surgeon General says research has come a long way, giving doctors powerful treatment options, including both therapy and new medications. But the issue of testing new medications has been controversial over the years. In Los Angeles, debate is underway on lifting a ban on testing psychotropic drugs on people under county care. As Susan Reed reports, it's one of the options for treating people who often don't know they're sick.
Los Angeles County stopped drug trials on mental patients 4 years ago after a patient died. Now LA County is again considering allowing drug testing on mental patients in its care, so-called conservatees, with a judge's order and patient consent.
Conservatees will not be the focus of treatment for drug studies just to prove a medication is effective. The only purpose is if there's clear evidence that the conservatee will benefit.
Even with evidence of a benefit, critics fear exploitation of patients unable to make decisions for themselves.
The group that is most vulnerable to exploitation are those that are in institutions, in mental hospitals or group homes or otherwise not protected by a family member.
Bernie Zuber suffered from manic depression. He says drugs saved him.
I was at my lowest ebb. I was really at the, I was being fed through the nose. I wouldn't eat or anything like that. I ended up in a convalescent hospital, and they did have a psychiatrist there, and he finally found an antidepressant for me that worked.
But Bernie Zuber says he's against drug testing on people who, like himself back then, could not make good decisions.
They keep saying that they can make up their own mind, that they can make their own decisions and so on. That certainly was not the case with me.
With better drugs, more widely tested on the populations that need them, many mental health professionals say the result could be fewer mentally ill people in jail or homeless on the streets. Susan Reed for CNN, Your Health.
Ahead on Your Health, new strategies for helping children with ADHD do better in school and at home, plus a new treatment for children suffering with sickle cell disease, and tips for surviving the dangerous temptation to overindulge in all those decadent holiday foods. But first, many consider it a loving sacrifice. The doctors warn caregiving could put you at risk if you're not careful. We'll look at the problems and solutions when we return.
You just don't seem yourself today.
Everyone gets congested. That stuffy feeling where your nose takes over. But now there's a whole new way to deliver relief. New Afrin No Drip Nasal Spray. Ordinary nasal sprays drip down your throat. Afrin No Drip targets nasal congestion and stays there for fast, powerful relief.
And we're back.
New Afrin No Drip.
Hey, you look a lot better. I feel a lot better.
Another breakthrough in breathing from Afrin.
CNN, in a landmark television event, presents 100 hours on 100 issues. Issues that affect our environment, our health, our lives. CNN's top journalists, world leaders, and distinguished guests interact live from across the planet to explore the challenges that will shape our world for generations to come. Millennium 2000, beginning New Year's Eve at 5 a.m. Eastern on CNN.
Rock to a different beat. World Beat, the global music program that interviews the world's most renowned artists.
And when I'm on tour, I always try to play. I believe in people listening to music.
My job is to make music and to write lyrics.
Brings you in-depth profiles.
They say you listen to the blues to get rid of the blues.
And the biggest music news.
The first of many fires erupted during the Red Hot
World
Chili
Beat,
Peppers.
in tune with Volvo. Today, 3:30 Eastern on CNN.
It's a fact of life that most of us will eventually face, caring for an ailing spouse. With baby boomers graying, many are finding themselves struggling to care for a parent or relative. Well, now a new study looking at the growing demands finds they're taking a dangerous toll. 56-year-old Stephen Mintz was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 25 years ago. His wife, Suzanne, has been by his side the whole time.
Most people don't have a comprehension of what's involved in caring for a person with chronic illness and disability.
More than 15 million adults in America care for a family member. Now, a new study in this week's Journal of the American Medical Association says the stress and strain could be shortening caregivers' lives. The study says elderly spouses who report caregiving strain are 63% more likely to die within 4 years than non-caregivers.
We've known for a long time that caregiving can result in mental health problems among caregivers, but this is the first time that it's been shown that family caregiving can actually contribute to the death of a caregiver.
And death rates were highest among those caregivers who were ill themselves, a whopping 22.5%.
These individuals tend to be older, of course, and they're frailer as a function of because of their age.
Suzanne is not surprised by the study. Although a physical therapist works with her husband and she occasionally gets help from her daughter and neighbors, caregiving has compromised her health.
I have suffered from 3 bouts of clinical depression because of the caregiving. I've had some back problems, sleeplessness.
To help caregivers, Suzanne founded the National Family Caregivers Association, a support group specifically designed to help caregivers. That can help, but experts say couples need to be evaluated by doctors as a unit, and caregivers need to take more time for themselves. Quiet time she says she needs to keep it all together. Caregiving is just one of the challenges many adults are facing each day. Millions are also struggling with the daily reality of helping their children cope with the effects of another big problem, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Well, now a new study is providing guidance on the best strategies to help these children do well in school and at home. CNN medical correspondent Rhonda Rowland reports.
Oh, okay. Which one would you like then?
It's okay.
8-year-old John Blankenhorn was expelled from 2 schools because of his inability to concentrate and impulsive behavior. He has ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
I can't get past a happy song.
3 years ago, John was prescribed the stimulant drug Ritalin, but his parents said it wasn't enough, so they sought out psychosocial therapy, not just for him, but to improve their parenting skills. John was also enrolled in a school for children with learning disabilities.
The school really is a form of behavioral therapy, and he has made dramatic improvements.
Combining therapies appears to offer children with ADHD the best chance for success, according to a new landmark study. Almost 600 children between the ages of 7 and 9 were assigned to 1 of 4 treatment groups and followed for 14 months. 1 group received medication. The second, intensive behavioral therapy, including parent training, school consultation, and a summer treatment program. The third got both medication and behavioral therapy. A 4th group received whatever routine services were offered in their community.
All 4 treatment groups did improve, I must say, but there was more improvement for the symptoms of ADHD in the combination and the medication group.
After 14 months, parents and teachers said 2/3 of children no longer showed signs of ADHD in the combination therapy group. More than half showed strong improvement with medication alone. Less than 1/3 showed substantial improvement in behavioral therapy alone and in routine community treatment.
When you go outside the symptoms of ADHD to functioning at school and at home and with the peer group, there the most consistent finding is it takes a combination approach.
Researchers say the way they prescribe Ritalin or other medications proves superior to how most doctors currently prescribe it.
First, we saw the children monthly rather than every 4 or 6 months after the very intensive first month of finding the right dosage.
It was prescribed 3 times a day, and physicians consulted with the child's teacher each month. Researchers say their findings were consistent in all 6 sites examined across the United States and Canada, and the results crossed racial and economic groups. The most important finding, they say, is that ADHD can be successfully treated. Rhonda Rowland, CNN, Atlanta.
Stay with us on Your Health. We'll return with this week's health headlines. including a look at what public schools are teaching teenagers about sex. And later, why the holidays spell double trouble for people with eating disorders.
Doing what's natural means doing what's right for you. Like Novasoy isoflavones from ADM. Made from soybeans, you'll find Novasoy in dietary supplements that carry this leaf. One little pill every day could make a big difference in your overall health. Many studies have shown that isoflavones can help keep bones healthy by maintaining calcium and bone mineral density, which is good news for all women, especially those over age 35. It's your health. It's your life. Do what's right for you. Novasoy isoflavones from ADM. Do what comes naturally.
Professor, tell us about your discovery.
Absolutely. You can get all your long-distance calls for under $1.
How is that possible?
Just dial 1010-220. It's only 99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes and just 9 cents a minute after that.
When do you get these rates?
Every hour of every day.
And no monthly fees.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, no monthly fees.
I told you they'd love it.
Dial 1010-220. Everyone knows what it's like to be congested, but now there's a new kind of relief. New Afrin No Drip nasal spray. Ordinary sprays drip. Afrin No Drip targets congestion and stays there for fast, powerful relief. New Afrin No Drip.
What do you want for your children? Better world? A larger life? At American General Financial Group, we help 12 million Americans build a life large enough to hold their children's dreams. With retirement services, investments, life insurance, and consumer loans. At American General, the future starts today. American General Financial Group. Live the life you've imagined.
Welcome back to Your Health. I'm CNN medical correspondent Rhonda Rowland with this week's Your Health headlines. Each year, health experts say an estimated 22 million workdays are lost in the U.S. due to the common cold. Searching for relief from coughs and sniffles is a multi-billion-dollar business for pharmaceutical companies. And now a division of Warner Lambert and a company called Biopharma are encouraged about 2 experimental drugs which may hold promise in shortening the duration of the cold. But researchers say the 2 drugs are in early clinical trials and still a long way from being approved. Also this week, to teach or not to teach sex education. More than 2/3 of all U.S. public schools have a sex ed policy for teenagers. But the results of a new survey show school administrators are divided over what should be taught. According to the survey by the Kaiser Family Foundation, 34% of the nation's schools promote an abstinence-only policy. But an overwhelming majority say the discussions also include information about birth control and safe sex. And those are this week's Your Health headlines.
Next on Your Health, an experimental treatment for sickle cell anemia proved successful. But first, this week's Your Health quiz.
You know, you just don't seem yourself today.
Everyone gets congested. That stuffy feeling where your nose takes over. But now there's a whole new way to deliver relief. New Afrin No Drip nasal spray. Ordinary nasal sprays drip down your throat. Afrin No Drip targets nasal congestion and stays there for fast, powerful relief.
And we're back.
New Afrin No Drip.
Hey, you know, you look a lot better. I feel a lot better.
Another breakthrough in breathing from Afrin.
Welcome back to Your Health. There's some encouraging news about a treatment for children suffering from inherited immune disorders or leukemia. Researchers have said many can be cured with umbilical cord transplants. And now doctors at Atlanta's Emory Hospital have completed the world's first unrelated donor cord blood transplant, curing a child with sickle cell anemia. CNN medical correspondent Rhonda Rowland has more.
We first met Keon Penn 1 year ago, a 12-year-old with a severe case of sickle cell anemia, an inherited disorder where red blood cells are abnormally shaped.
He had a stroke when he was 5, and he has been getting chronic blood transfusions ever since he had the stroke. Lots of fevers, infections, seizures.
I think about it a lot, and it travels through my mind every day. I can't let it travel through my mind every day without saying, Lord, I need your help.
But Keon got help in the form of an experimental treatment. And now, doctors at the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and Emory Hospital say 12 months after the procedure, Keon is cured after being the first sickle cell patient in the world to receive a cord blood transplant from an unrelated donor. Cord blood comes from the umbilical cord after childbirth. These cells can become any kind of blood cell. In Keon, they gave him a new, healthy blood-making factory.
Researchers have cured sickle cell disease before using bone marrow transplants. The donors were healthy brothers or sisters. The trouble is, most of the time, not even siblings provide a good enough match.
Well, a very close match is needed for bone marrow transplants to work. With cord blood, a perfect match is not necessary. Still, there is the risk of complications such as infection. But with Keon's success, doctors hope more unrelated cord blood transplants will greatly expand the number of children cured of sickle cell disease. I'm Rhonda Rowland for CNN Your Health.
Coming up next on Your Health, from parties to feasts, the holidays are enough to tempt even the most health-conscious eaters. But it's more than just a struggle for millions with eating disorders. Some solutions when Your Health continues.
Your Health Headlines is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices. Always.
We're known as Bill and Mel, or the other way around, Mill and Bill.
We love Walmart because they're friendly all over. You can't beat the service that Ann gives to us. You couldn't get anything quicker.
She's the very best there is in pharmacists.
Yes, there is no one better. And if somebody wants to give me an argument about that, send them over.
You feel you trust her.
Don't forget, the medicine that she gives to us has to keep us going. Life is a wonderful thing if you have your health.
Everyone knows what it's like to be congested, but now there's a new kind of relief. New Afrin No Drip nasal spray. Ordinary sprays drip. Afrin No Drip targets congestion and stays there for fast, powerful relief. New Afrin No Drip.
FungiCure eliminates finger and toe fungus. FungiCure's brush targets fungus around nails with powerful antifungal medicine. Just ask our satisfied customers. FungiCure, the finger and toe fungi specialist.
The overindulging started on Thanksgiving, and if you're like many of us, it usually lasts straight through the new year. But before it's all over, many of us will be struggling to lose a few extra pounds. But for those with eating disorders, the struggling over the holidays is much more involved. CNN's medical correspondent Linda Champa explains.
Joseph, who doesn't want us to use his real name, says the holidays used to be an especially stressful time because of the tremendous emphasis on food.
My last binge for me was at a potluck on New Year's Eve. I can remember it vividly. There was just no stopping me.
Joseph is one of an estimated 8 million Americans who suffers from an eating disorder. In his case, binge eating. Experts say eating disorders can become even tougher to control when there's an abundance of food. Dr. Ann Becker, who treats people with eating disorders, says the illness is not just about food.
Eating disorders are a complicated mixture of emotions, feelings, affect, and behavior.
So her advice for a person with an eating disorder,
If they feel comfortable, it's very appropriate for them to say to a parent or a family member, you know, this is what I'm going to try to do for the holidays, and these are some concerns I have, and these are the ways that you could be helpful to me. And, you know, perhaps it's, you know, please don't buy the extra candy canes, or please don't slice a piece of pie for me.
Another option, seek support. Joseph says the group Overeaters Anonymous helped him to stop binging. In the process, he lost 100 pounds and has kept it off.
It is not the only path. People find other ways of finding that. But it has been, for me, over the past 12 years, being 150 pounds has been a miracle.
For others, therapy and medical treatment may help. And experts say try to keep in mind that everyone overeats a bit during the holidays, and that January 2nd is almost here. Linda Champa, CNN, Your Health.
That's all we have time for today. Please join us again next week for a special show on alternative medicine. We'll take a look at your physical health and your spiritual well-being from the Canyon Ranch Health Resort in Arizona. If you'd like more information about any of today's stories, just click on our website at cnn.com/health. Our website is now produced in conjunction with WebMD. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. From everyone on the CNN Health team, I'm Dr. Steve Salvatore.
Today on Business Unusual, a look at Land's End and their ride in the topsy-turvy world of e-commerce. On Business Unusual, defining the new economy in association with Arthur Andersen. Today, 6:30 Eastern on CNN.
Tonight on CNN and Time. From politics to business to world affairs, who will be named Time Magazine's 1999 Person of the Year? A CNN and Time special. Tonight on CNN.
Tonight, how the fight to protect wolves is creating a crisis where humans live and farm. Planet Wolf on CNN Perspectives. Tonight, 10 Eastern.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I was hosting my first big business dinner, and I paid with my Visa card. Turns out I was over my limit. I was so embarrassed, I didn't know what to do. So I got the American Express card, and it never happened again.
Call 1-800-THE-CARD. We can take your application right over the phone.
Applying for the card was one of the easiest things I've ever done, and smartest. And anyone who's ever gone anywhere knows it. I have a place to cash checks, get my mail, and get help when I need it.
My dad said the minute you get a job, get an American Express card. He said, trust me on this one. I've gone everywhere with it. And here's a tip. Sign up for membership rewards, and everything you charge on the card will earn you program points, so you can keep on traveling.
So call now for the American Express card. You can apply right over the phone.
It helped not having a preset limit.
It's great getting points every time you use the card.
I can call 24 hours a day. That helps.
No matter what you do or where you go, the American Express card can help you do more.
100 hours of Millennium 2000, only on CNN.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chad Myers. An ugly day in the northern plains. Boy, just not attractive at all out there. Winds blowing at about 30 or 40 miles per hour, blowing the snow around. The only really good news is now the snow has really tapered off in many spots across parts of North Dakota and western Minnesota. You may not be able to tell that because what's on the ground is just blowing around. Still blizzard warnings in this area, as although the snow is tapered off, it's just going to keep blowing around and around and will continue to drift most of the afternoon. The heavy snow now is from Duluth all the way down even into Des Moines, as we expected. Back out to the west here along I-80.